Hey guys, so today I'm just making another blog, another video. Um, Sorry, I went down to the police department today and I put a FOIA request in for window footage at the police department from back in January. So, as I mentioned in a previous video, back in January, I went to the window to turn a complaint in regards to an officer about a situation. I turned it in to the receptionist named Heidi Ingram. And when I turned the complaint into her, I made the comment that when they review the complaint, there's a copy of the video on my Facebook page. And she chose to make a remark, "The police don't have time to look at your Facebook page, Richard." And it rubbed me the wrong way because nobody asked her, nobody said to look at my Facebook page. I just told them, here's my complaint. The video to this complaint is uploaded on my Facebook page, and she decided to make an unnecessary remark, which was heard by a girl named Natasha, who was at the lobby dealing with something completely different. It wasn't even had anything to do with me. And I wasn't even the one filming that day. She actually heard what Heidi had said, and she started to record because she seen I was getting irritated, and she heard the comment that the lady made behind the window. So when I had my situation where I filed for small claims against me and the dispatch manager, his attorney decided that he was going to bring Heidi Ingram as a witness, and Heidi decided to come and say, "Oh, Richard came in, and my experience with him in January, he was disrespectful, he berated me, and he misunderstood what I said." And that's the problem. It's always that people misunderstand what they say when people actually heard what they said. And this is a good example as to why the Fort Dodge, Webster County, Iowa, Fort Dodge Police Department, Sheriff Department, this is a good example as to why the sheriff have video in the lobby area, but they don't put the audio there because they don't want to incriminate themselves on things that they've said. It's always going to be that a citizen or a resident misunderstood something, and then they're going to turn and take your words around and twist them and bend them, and then they're going to beg people to have their backs. And that's what the police department does in the dispatch, is that when they know that their officers are committing crimes and when they know that their officers are doing something wrong, they're always going to have their officers back. And it's always going to be the citizens that are lying, or we have no proof, or they're going to administratively close out a complaint, so forth, etc. That's how the Fort Dodge police work. And I'm sure there's other police departments that are very similar. It's not just Fort Dodge. I can only speak of what I've witnessed around here. Just like the Fort Dodge police window, I know they don't have cameras in that window or behind that window. So the reason I turned in the video is because I know they're not going to be able to furnish it, and I'm going to make a big deal about it before it's all over with, because when you're using witnesses talking about a situation and you're taking credibility based on something that they said, but they don't have anything to support what they're saying. So like I said, that's why that's why they don't have cameras in their windows. That's why I believe they don't, when it comes to the receptionist or the people back there, they could come and say anything that they want about you. And it's always going to be that the citizen attacked me. The citizen misunderstood me. There's going to be an excuse for everything. And I do want to touch base on one comment that was made on my Facebook page from a girl. There was a video posted with multiple police at the Star gas station here in Fort Dodge. And I know that we've got our police lovers, and that's fine. I also know that I have my Facebook stalkers who like to run to the police department and say, "Oh, Richard's saying this, Richard's saying that," and there's ones that like to record every video and send it to the police, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody has that right. All the bit more power to you. But what I'm saying in regards to the Fort Dodge Police Department, and it's not just Fort Dodge, these are other police departments around the U.S. I have a hard time believing that Fort Dodge is the only department that does it, but when a police officer gets dispatched to a call or let's just, in this case, let's just say a traffic stop, a basic traffic stop, and you've got 4 or 5 police officers that are showing up. There's nothing on the call log that requests why additional police are needed. And it happens all the time around Fort Dodge. My best friend Stacy Hammond, yes, I said your name's Stacy, she got stopped, or her boyfriend got stopped a few months back after her coming forward about a situation. And they had like 4 police officers respond to that. And then the only thing they walked away from for was a ticket for, well, I'm not going to say what her ticket was for, but it didn't justify having 4 police. A lot of these police, they stop because they want to be nosy. I don't think that some of them, because some of them are not that bright and some of them are smart. You got to remember, the city of Fort Dodge has police officers ranging from the age of 19 to, I'm going to speak on their young scale, to 24. People between the age of 19 to 24, a lot of them are not mature enough to talk to people. They haven't had the experience. There's a lot of them that everything is a power trip. Oh, I'm a police officer. I can do this. I can do that. And then you've got the ones that they just like to flirt. That's what they're there for. They think that because they have a uniform and a badge, they can flirt and it makes them cool. It makes, like they think people are afraid of them. That's the persona that you get from the city of Fort Dodge. And our police chief, Dennis Quinn, doesn't fall far from the tree, and he's much older. He's been disrespectful towards women. I've heard a lot of stories about him. It's just a matter of time before people start to come forward and share those stories and want those stories public. I think that the Fort Dodge Police Department thinks they're going to shut me up with their charges, or they think I'm going somewhere, and I hate to say I'm not going anywhere. I did make the decision I'm going to go for U.S. House of Representatives this year. Even if I don't win, I will push and I will keep going for it. I think it's extremely important that we have laws that are passed against police departments that are abusing power, police departments that are abusing the citizens, judges, city elected officials, such as in city council members, who can call people's employers, make comments, use their positions to intimidate. The thing is, when residents speak up about things that are going on, the city of Fort Dodge council members, as well as the police department and a lot of the judges that we have here in Webster County, they're all dismissive. They look at it, they're the 3 people in power, and they'll do whatever they can, at no matter the cost, to shut somebody up. And that's what our county attorney, assisted county attorney, is doing to people too. So I see it. And, like I said when I had my small claims hearing, I'm not always the most professional person. I think sometimes certain situations allow me to get over emotional, and as much of a perfect person I could say I am, I know I'm not. And at what age is somebody perfect? Like, we all have things we have to work on, myself included. I'm learning as I'm going. But it's very hard when you're the person sitting back behind on the other side of Accountability for All or the camera, and you're reading messages of the things that these officers are doing and they're getting by. And they continue to get by with it. Like, at what point does transparency become a thing to the public on the things that they're doing? So we're always going to have different views. You're going to have your police lovers. You're going to have your Accountability for All haters. You're going to have your police gossipers. You're going to have your Accountability for All gossipers. You're going to have your police friends that play 2 sides to the story, and I'm going to have my Accountability for All some followers that are going to play 2 sides to the story. So I think it's to be expected. But I would like to see a community, not just Fort Dodge, but nationwide, where laws are passed for officers that want to tell lies and break the law. I mean, just an example, Officer Timothy Hopwood, in my small claims hearing, I got to cross-examine him with questions, and I specifically told him, did you go back behind the door and instruct your lieutenant not to talk to me? And he said no. And keep in mind, this police officer is a person who was under oath. So today I went up to the courthouse, and one of the things I did is I requested a FOIA from my hearing because that officer told a lie. He was under oath, and I'm almost positive that because this is the city of Fort Dodge, that the judge isn't going to do anything to him. He's going to act like it's no big deal. But if that was me or just a regular person that didn't have a badge, or if I'm not a judge or a city elected official, that would go completely different with a judge. So it's the things like that where I think legislation, laws need to be passed, protection of people. Even aside from the stuff that's going on with the police department, I would like to see better mental health offered to people. I would like to see things with the public school district. A Fort Dodge public school district is a shit show. Don't even get me started. So I think there's a lot of structuring. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. There's just so much I want to talk about. Iowa clearly is a state that does not want people to have rights. We are the first state in the nation to strip the LGBTQ, whatever it's called, community of civil rights protection. Now Iowa has put a bill in the House because they don't want to allow same-sex marriage. Iowa, and then the Attorney General, Brenda Byrd, wants to have stricter laws for police that get assaulted, but it's okay for police to rape people. It's okay for police to send inappropriate and sexually inappropriate nude pictures to minors. It's okay for police chiefs in Webster City to commit crimes, or Fort Dodge officers like Gallon Hint to be charged with extortion. I mean, the list goes on. So it's all for the police. It's all for power. It's fuck the residents and disregard what anybody has to say around here. And the city council people are the exact same way. And it needs to be addressed. I think that there are issues that people are afraid to speak up about. I, unfortunately, am not afraid to speak up. I know I have a lot of people say, watch your back, Richard. These police kill. They let them do whatever, because there's a paper trail at the end of the day. You know, I don't wish harm upon anybody, but I at least expect honesty. I think that parents raise their children to have a little bit of dignity, and some of these, just so many, don't have any dignity. So I just wanted to make this video. I'm going to post them all. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday, and I hope you all had a great Memorial Day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.